Welcome friends, welcome back to My Hobby Home. My name is Cathy. It is finishing Friday. So you can see the back of my quilt. You may not know which one this is, but I'm showing you the binding here. This is the flange binding that I made for my Craftsman. So this is the Craftsman quilt that I am binding. I've already started putting the binding on the back of the quilt. So this is going to, it's going to be a long process because I am going very, very slow. I'm making sure everything is lined up. So let me just kind of show you what I'm using. I have my binding. This is my binding buddy, whatever it's called. And I think this was a clapper and a template holder that we got in the Missouri Star Christmas box last year. The thread I am using is a Mettler thread. It is color 0892. That's the color I'm using on this. It is a blue and it matches this blue real well. I could have done the yellow, but I thought it's going to be on the back as well, and the blue is the one that you're going to see on the back. So I wanted this to match what was on the back. I did not want to use my dove gray, and because that kind of blends with everything, but I thought this is going to be on my bed. Y'all, this is my very first bed quilt. So I'm excited that this will be the first one that I have completely done, and I hope to make some pillowcases for it as well, because I hope as soon as I'm done, I will be able to get the pillowcases done and get it on my bed. Now, as always, I will tell y'all today is Thursday, September 18th. It is my little brother's birthday. And actually my pop's birthday too. It is my stepdad's father. It's his birthday as well. And he is no longer with us, but he is in spirit always. But happy birthday to my little brother. We've called him Boogie his whole life because he was always a little boogie man, but he likes to go by Cecil now. I hope he is having a blast. And the day y'all are seeing this, it is the 19th. It is the day before National Sew a Jelly Roll Day. Can y'all believe it? It is finally here. I've had several people tell me they're not going to be able to do the jelly roll with us this year. That's fine, guys. That's fine. It's just another reason to sew. We don't have to have a national day to do it, do we? We sew all the time. But this is just dedicated to a jelly roll. And I am narrowed down to 2 patterns. I purchased both of them on Etsy today. I needed, one of them did not have the fabric requirements on it, so I went on and purchased it too. And because I'm like, well, one of them I know I want to make for my son for his birthday. And that, I mean, all my kids have a birthday quilt. So then I will go from there to making spouses and significant others a quilt. I know my youngest daughter, her fiance has asked when I'm going to make him a quilt. Well, first off, you got to take care of it, and I don't see too much care being done with the one I made my daughter. I know she tries to, but I put too much time and money into quilts for them to be hung on windows. I mean, it's much cheaper to buy a set of drapes. So like I said, I'm going really slow. I'm taking my time. I'm not rushing. I may do this up into 2 different bits. I may do part of the back with you guys and then take you directly to the front and show you. I hope I have you close enough to where you can see what I am doing. I am not pulling the fabric. I'm just making sure it's staying over this way because I do so at 3/8 inch. I do a 2.5 inch binding. And a 3/8 inch is what I sew on. That seems to be the best measurement to make it even on both sides. But this time I'm doing a flange binding. I've never done a flange binding. So guys, this is a lot of firsts for me. A first bed quilt and a first flange binding. And so far, it's been pretty easy. I don't want this getting up in your way where y'all can't see me. And I'm hoping I have enough binding, guys. I'm telling you, I'm afraid I may not. But I'm pretty certain we measured it all out. But if I don't, I think I have a little extra over here. I may be able to cut another strip out to add to it, but I don't know. But guys, let's see. What's happening today? Today, the 19th, when y'all see this little beauty behind me, my little woodruff, it will be gone when y'all see this. This will be gone. All my hair will be gone. I'm going to get it cut off early tomorrow as well. Y'all will see it in the jelly roll video because like I said, I haven't gotten that one done yet. I do have my love cats already recorded, so we are good on that one. Y'all will see the hair just like this. Something seems like it's tugging on it, and I really don't have anything tugging on it. It's loose hair. It just could be because this is a big quilt, and it is a heavy quilt. But I will be picking up my piece of cake today. I think I have enough fabric to do a binding on that. But I will need to make sure I have fabrics to do pillowcases for that because, I don't know, that one may not be big enough for the bed. And if it's not, I won't do pillowcases for it. But I will need to do pillowcases for this one, the woodruff. And I'm using in that one a couple different lines. So I think I'm going to use the Sweetwater Red Barn. The one that has like the labels on it. I think it's white with the labels and then a plaid as the cuff on the pillow. We will see. It's according to what I have back here. I have one of my project boxes just completely full of Christmas fabrics, and not small yardage fabrics either. I mean, I've got like 4 and 5 yards of fabrics because I thought it would be enough to make a backing, and it wasn't, because I've added, I added borders, and I didn't take into account a border when I did it because when I went and got the fabric, I got what was on the pattern, and then I realized I'm going to add a border to that. Or like this one, I enlarged it. I've had some people say that they still don't do their binding. And I think, is it Esther? Is that your name? That you said you don't do your binding. Girl, it is so easy if you take your time. And I'm not a pro at it. By no means am I a pro at it. I just take my time and I make sure everything is lined up. Now see, like on this end, what I'm going to do is mark 3/8 of an inch down here on this corner So when I'm sewing and I get to that 3/8 inch, I'll stop right there and then I'll go off at an angle into the corner. And I do cut my thread. I've seen people that don't cut their thread, don't have to. I've got to. But I will show you that when I get to it. And it actually helps. I have no clue what the binding is going to look like on the back. I have no clue. Because the yellow is my flange part. That's another thing. When you are putting your binding on your binding buddy, on your binding card, whatever you're putting it on, make sure you have it where it is laid, where you can lay this fabric flat with your flange fabric on the back faced up. I didn't do that, and I had to take mine off my binding buddy, and that's why it's all messed up right now. That's why it looks bad. And y'all may move there a little bit because my quilt is all the way next to you guys. So thank you all for joining me today, though. I really appreciate y'all coming and spending time with me. Please make sure to give me a thumbs up. And if you have not yet subscribed, please do that. Something has been going on in the algorithm, and it really helps me when you watch the whole video, because I do rely on the, oh, I should have done this on my, I do rely on the ads to get paid for YouTube, and that just helps me do projects. I get paid a little bit, and it helps me get quilts long-armed. And for some reason, I'm having just about the same amount of views, but for some reason, the ad revenue, let's just say, I'm going to make an easy number to use. Let's just say per every 1,000 views a day, I made $10. Let's just say that. And let's just say, because I'm thinking about percentage of how it's going. And this, I don't even have to use the number. That's what I normally make, is about $10 per 1,000 views. And now I'm only making less than $3. So that really affects the amount of ad revenue that I will be getting, and that will affect, you know, the amount of funds that I have to help me with my channel. I try not to use my own personal money. Now, you know, once I got monetized, I tried not to use my personal money. I tried to make sure to pull from my revenue to make sure that this is paying for itself. And if it doesn't, that's still okay, because I'm still going to be sewing. Oh, goodness, I'm turning, y'all. Okay, so now that I'm at the corner, I know I have a bright light here. I'm hoping y'all can see this. I sewed off at a diagonal right there into that corner. What I'm going to do is fold the fabric up right there. And I have that sew line, so that gives me a nice, pretty stop right there. And what I'm going to do is fold this down. And when you fold that, you make sure it's like a straight line on the outside. And when you fold it down, you do the same thing. You make sure it's straight across that edge. And I always hold mine up to make sure over here I don't have anything poking out crazy or anything. And I just slide it under my needle at that 3/8 of an inch, because that's where I sew my binding at. And I set it down on the back corner. I don't go up. I've seen some people say they come up to where the fold is, I don't do that. I go right there because I want all of that sewn shut. And I hope that made sense to you guys. If it did not make sense, please let me know. I can make a quick, short little video to show you how I do it if you want to see how I do it. Am I saying this is the right way to do it? Absolutely not. But it is how I do it, and it seems to work out for me. But if you have a different way that you like to do your bindings, then do it, guys. Do it. It is all whatever is easiest for you. But me, I like to learn different ways to do things to see which one is easiest for me, because I am still new enough at this that, yeah, I've got to cut these threads. Those are going to bother me. I'm still new enough at this that I don't have a down pat, this is how I'm going to do it. You know, I'm willing to try other ways to do it. Because I know how I'm doing it may not be the easiest way for me to do it. Okay, guys, I've got to pull some quilts out here. I'm on my third side right now. Now, my first side, I don't do the whole side. I do about half of it, but I leave myself about a foot of fabric. And since this has nothing to do with measurements or anything, you know how to do a binding. My favorite binding is a 2.5 inch. You can do yours 3 inches. You can do your binding 5 inches. I don't know why you would, because that's technically almost a border. But if that's what you wanted to do, that's what you do. It is all up to you, your preference. And now I am loving that Love Cats pattern. It is just the cutest little thing. And of course, I know Facebook listens to me, because now that we've been doing that, I keep getting all these pages, group pages for Maine Coon cats. It must know that I love Maine Coons. I think Maine Coons are beautiful. They don't talk a lot or meow. I call it talking because I talk to my cats. I have cats. But Maine Coons do not make a lot of noise. I've had a mix with part Maine Coon in it. And she very seldom meowed. Just when she needed to go outside and go potty. That's the only time she really ever meowed. She never had to meow about food, because there was always food. She wasn't the one that if she could see the bottom of the bowl, she would freak out. That's my old man that I got here. I call him Little One, and he meows if he could see the bottom of the bowl. But I am loving. Now, y'all may be wondering why I did the blue back. The blue back is kind of a, you know, kind of like a hats off to my grandmother. Because I have a quilt that she backed it, I think, in the same exact kind of fabric. Or the same exact color, the same exact fabric. And I am wanting, I've just about have enough stuff done that I can start pulling out my grandmother's quilt tops. And so we will start looking at the vintage tops and blocks that she has done. And I'm calling them vintage. And I will be doing any kind of repairs, you know, fabric replacement if it needs it. I'll do it all sewn, machine sewn though, and I'm sure my grandmother, I don't know, she might have machine sewn some of them. Yeah, I am picking threads off of this because I have not vacuumed my sewing room, and when it touches the floor, it picks up all the threads down there. I guess I need to quit picking them off, because I'll be picking the same ones off. Well, no, I won't be picking the same ones off, because the ones I'm picking off are going in the garbage. Oh, and I know I had in yesterday's video, I know I mentioned a cooking video. Yeah, tonight or Thursday night, not when y'all are seeing this. Thursday night, I took my dad and my stepmom out, and they were telling me about a cooking thing that they got to go to through the Council on Aging. It was like a taste test thing, and they got to vote on things. And my daddy was like, yeah, there was a bread pudding there that was delicious. And he was telling me the guy that made it, I think he said, Elliot and Jonathan. Well, Elliot is kind of related to us, you know, our family. And Jonathan is his cousin on his mama's side. But my dad, he was saying, and I say that because he writes a lot of grants and stuff to help the Council on Aging get funds. Now, I don't think he's on the board of the Council on Aging. I don't think he has anything to do with Council on Aging. But I think he just has a heart for it, and he just wrote a grant to help them get, you know, some funds. And if you're not familiar with what Council on Aging is, they cook meals for the elderly, and they also provide, you know, like daytime activities for the elderly or your senior citizens. And it's just kind of, you know, so they can socialize a little bit, because a lot of them have lost spouses and don't have anybody, don't have kids that check on them. So, you know, it's good to have an organization that can help you if necessary. And they do Meals on Wheels. They do, I'm trying to think what they call it, domestic work. I'm not sure if that's what they call it now, but they have somebody come in and do like your dishes and sweep your floors and things like that. I should tell my husband I'm almost old enough to get that. Because we all know I can't do that. My daughter's been doing a great job, and it's been great for me to see my grandbaby. I think I enjoy it more for that, because I get to see my grandbaby, you know, once a week. I did see him the other day, even though she didn't come in to do the floors. We did go Tuesday evening, and we went and got food together. We like to have a meal. I'm having a meal with my oldest daughter. The day y'all watch this, she and I will have had lunch together, because I am giving her a vintage, I call them double bubble lamps. It is a vintage amber double globed lamp. She does not know I'm giving it to her. She collects amber dishes. And I also have a punch bowl set for her. I've always given her, see, I collect like the blue iridescent Indiana glass, and the, now you can find, I have the grapevine pattern is the one I have. And I also collect the olive green colony. It could be Whitehall colony or Indiana. It's Whitehall, I think it's Whitehall Americana or Indiana Colony. But I collect the olive green dishes, and that is actually what I eat off of. I use those glasses every day. The tumblers, I use the tumblers. Well, actually, I don't use the tumblers. I use the water glasses every day. But, you know, I've taught my kids, don't have anything and put it up on a shelf and just never use it. It's just collecting dust then. And no one is getting any enjoyment out of it. But I love, see, I do the green. My husband almost bought me a caraway set you know, of pots and pans because we knew they were induction safe. And I told him, I was like, don't do that until we know. But he was like, oh, those pretty yellows, those were beautiful. Those would look great. And I'm like, no, they would not. Yellow would not look good. The green ones would. I can remember, I think my aunt had like a mustardy yellow refrigerator, I think. It wasn't a bright yellow. It was like a beigey yellow. It might have been more beige than yellow. I can't remember it. But I remember somebody had a green fridge, like an olive green fridge. And no, if I could have got that color, I would not have gotten it for my appliances. Because in 5 years, I probably would not like that color. I did go on and go with the, what's it called? Stainless steel or whatever. Look, I did go on and do that. I could have done that or white. It wouldn't have mattered either way. But I think the stainless steel, now granted, it's got fingerprints all over it. And my husband got some cleaner the other day, and I just told him I wanted some barkeeper's friends because that would be better, you know. He didn't bring it. He got the other stuff. Okay, so now I'm marking my corner over here, 3/8 of an inch. So there's a lot of things going on today. Now, like I said, it's Thursday, but I'm talking about it like it's going to be Friday because this is the day you're seeing it. And I will tell you if it's the day that I'm talking about. So I'm talking about Friday right now. Friday, what is going to be happening? I've already told you I'm picking up my piece of cake. I'm going to stop a little bit before that. And then I will be dropping off the woodruff back here. Oh, I went too far. I'm just turning it ready to get... I went the wrong direction. I need to go this direction to sew off that corner there. I have a whole bunch of quilt over here, y'all. So, let's see. We're flipping up. And flipping down. And I've got to fix this because I see I've got some poking out there. But what I do is I just make sure everything is lined up on both sides, that I don't have my fold poking out over there, that it's all even. I will have to redo it once I get it over here under the machine, because all of my quilt is over here to the left of me now, which will have to be quickly remedied because I cannot sew with all of this over here. Okay, I've got that air under good, so let me get this up on the table where it's not sliding. Okay, I think I have it up here, and y'all, I am so scared I do not have enough fabric, enough binding made up. I am hoping I do though, because that would be hard to add more to this. And I'm hoping what I did was just take everything I had and cut it into strips, because I think that's what I did. And if that's the case and I run out, oh, I am in trouble. But I'll be at the quilt shop tomorrow, and hopefully they will have this fabric, because that's where I got it from. But I will still be working on getting my jelly roll quilt. I'll be recording that for you guys for tomorrow. And I will not be on anything tomorrow. And I'm just going to apologize to everyone that has a channel that comes on late in the evenings and at night. I have not been catching them. or early in the morning. Like Sean, I haven't been catching Sean. I haven't been catching Tammy or Alicia, but I've been trying to go to bed early. It's not really been happening, but if I'm not in the live, I'm recording, guys, because I tried last weekend to get ahead, and I did get ahead by like one video, but that has since been eaten up. So what I do is I record the day before y'all see it. Now, I have already recorded the Saturday sew along. So that one is okay. I did get that one done. And I'm hoping Friday, which is the day you're seeing this, I'm hoping we don't have bad weather because I have got a lot of stuff to do. Quilt shop, then I got to go pick out, I've got to pick out some lamps, guys. I will be getting rid of my lamps in my living room. And the end tables, because my husband, when he bought them, I had told him I didn't want the end tables. We got them at an estate sale. We got the sofas and the tables and the lamps. They were brand new, less than a year old. And I know the lady that had owned them, and she lived by herself. So there was no small kids, no animals, no nothing like that to get on the stuff and dirty the stuff. So they practically look brand new. They don't now. I got grandbabies that's got juice bottles. I've got to get in there and make my magic stain remover and spray my sofa because they're white. They're cream colored. So I do need to put some stain remover on that and clean my sofa up. But that can wait until I got my kitchen done. Really, I need my kitchen. Oh, I didn't finish telling you about my dad and my stepmom going to that, they said it was called Taste of Louisiana. And they brought me back a little cookbook. I have not yet been able to look at it, but I'm excited to. Y'all know I like me some Louisiana cooking. If you don't know that, that's how this has happened. I love Louisiana food. So much flavor. We flavor our chicken. I don't know what people are talking about saying people don't flavor their chicken. I flavor mine. I actually have chicken in the crock pot right now. I didn't want to cook all of it the way I did, but I made Mississippi cracked chicken, Cajun style. And I'm not a Cajun. No, I'm not. I am North Louisiana. Now, I don't make things spicy. I just make them have flavor. I like using spices, but I don't put like the hot stuff in it. And I know a lot of people like hot sauce. More power to you. You do you. I do flavor, not spicy. Oh, y'all, I am so scared. Oh, I'm afraid I don't have enough. We are playing binding roulette once again, guys. Or binding chicken. That's what I like to call it, binding chicken. Roulette sounds bad. Binding chicken. That's what we're playing. I'm hoping we're close to that corner. Oh, it may be a tight fit, a tight one. I need to be making sure that my binding is pulled tight. Y'all, I think this is closer than it was the last time I got close to binding chicken. Let me show you what I'm working with here. You can't even see it over. See, look. It's scary. I am shaking. right now. I'm so scared because I know I don't have any more of this fabric because I know what I had, I cut. And I was thinking, boy, that's not a lot. This is a big quilt. That's not a lot. Now I'm really thinking that. When in doubt, always cut more. You can always use that binding on a scrappy quilt. Nothing like tying a quilt together if you're using scraps than to use the binding for a quilt. I have a lot of bindings over here that I've used on quilts, and I do plan on making a scrap quilt. It's probably going to be a potato chip quilt. It's probably going to be like one of those, I don't know what they call them. I call it a Where's Waldo. You know, one of those quilts where you look for things on it. Like them Waldo books. Like Where's Waldo. But I have multiple different bindings that I can use. So I won't have to make binding. It's already made. Now, of course, the flange binding, I wouldn't use that for anything else. So if it's tight, that's perfectly fine with me. Oh, we're almost at the corner. Oh, good. Oh, and we're almost out of binding, y'all. Oh, my goodness. I am stressing. Now, this is probably about just as bad as, what's it called? Thread chicken. I've done that before, too. And somebody actually said they saw it coming across the back of my machine. But I have this is a brand new spool. It's Metler. I did it this color. Once again, oh, y'all. Oh. Please let me have enough out here. Stress sweats are a real thing, people. They really are. I am so nervous right now. Y'all, oh my goodness. It's going to be enough. But I do have to get it sewn down a little bit more before I can start I need to see how much space do I need? Yeah, that's probably what I need. I'm going to do a back stitch and then go forward and then lift. So let me show you. Now, I don't have my camera turned down. I'm not coming around to turn it down. But I will show you to the best of my ability how to connect your two. Okay, so we have two. Now, I know that's way up there. I need to sew that some more, y'all. That's way too far up there. I thought I was closer to it than that. We're going to sew down just about another 6 inches, maybe. Okay, this is where I'm going to stop because I'm almost out of binding right here. So we are going to take care of our threads here. I cut a piece off. I open it. That's my 2.5 inches. So now that I have it right here, I'm going to lay this one on the bottom and make sure that it is, I think I'm going to sew a little bit more of that up. Because that is just like way too much right there. It makes it harder if you have too big of an opening. So I'm going to sew some of that opening up. Because the problem I'm having is my table is only so big. And I want to be able to have both of the pieces on the table at the same time. Well, since this piece is already cut, I have it laying down. So I'm going to lay this fabric over the top of it. I can see where the end of that is. And I'm lining up. It's hard to do it because the fabric wants to stay folded up. So I am laying the fabric at the end, and I'm going to mark it with my marking pen there. Is it accurate and perfect? No, it's not. But what I do when I go to cut this, I cut it right on the inside of that mark. Give it 1/8 of an inch even. So now that we have our ends cut, I am going to fold the quilt up right here. Let me see if I have a clip. I don't see a clip. So what I'm going to do is put a pin in the fabric there. Now, we have the fabric. We are laying this one flat down. And this one flat up. And I will get some pins and pin this together. Okay, I have the pins pinned in there. You do it just like you would while you're making your binding. And I have my marking tool over here. I am going to lay the marking tool on the top left corner. And I need completely flat surface here to do this. And bottom right corner, just like you would to make your binding. Now remember, we've got a flange going on here. So I have to think about when I fold this back, is the yellow going to be on the top? It is. And one way to know to do this, you've got your yellow. This is my strip coming from the top. I open it up and just lay it flat down to the right. Don't twist it or nothing. Just open it up and then lay it flat down. The other one, just open it up to the left and lay it on top. Now, if that does not make sense, please let me know. I will try to do an instructional video for you, but there are lots of videos out there on how to do this. But I won't mind doing one for you if you want me to. So I am going to just sew on that line across all the way down to that corner. I am going to trim my strings, and I'll show you when I get my strings, my threads, not strings, threads trimmed. When I open it up, you will see. Let me open it up. There it goes. You see the blue is on the bottom, yellow's on the top. I will trim this piece off right here. I need scissors other than those other ones that aren't trimming very well. They need to be sharpened. Guys, these came out of a Creative Notions box. If you watch the video from yesterday, I think. Not yesterday. Day before yesterday, you would have seen my Creative Notions unboxing. Guys, I love that box. I really do. I love that box. But we are going to fold this. I'm not pressing this. I could if I wanted to. But how I'm pressing, I'm doing a finger press and just folding it over. And let me show you once I pull my pin out and stretch the fabric out. Stretch my binding out here. It may be a little big. I might... Nope, it's perfect. But I think... Let's just get the binding put on. And I will have to maneuver the... where I just sewed it together, I'll have to maneuver those flaps with my fingers while I'm sewing it to make sure they stay opened and flat. I can tell the top one is. So this is where you make sure there's no puckering or anything. You can, you know, stretch it out if you need to. Which that's normally why I go in like 1/8 of an inch smaller. Okay, so now we have the binding on the back. Okay guys, what I am seeing on the flange binding, it probably would have been sufficient to have sewn that at 1/4 of an inch, because on the front of your quilt you have a very small, I've got threads, and y'all, I'm taking my time. I'm not rushing doing this. I actually had to stop recording and start all over again to not exceed my 1 hour and 20-minute record limit that this will let me do. So I'm going to have to do it in 2 parts. I'm going to have to edit it and then export it, and then edit the second part and export it, and then import both of them in again individually, because if it sees the videos being more than 1 hour and 20 minutes long, it will not let me export the video. So the first session was like 1 hour long. So doing the back border was like 1 hour long. I mean, border, binding, guys, I'm telling you. But once this is edited down, it may be 40 minutes long, maybe. But this is me binding the Craftsman. And how I am sewing this, I'm sewing at 1/4 of an inch, which is actually right on the seam line for the flange. Now, I don't know if it's called a faux flange or a flange, but that is what I'm doing. And now I'm almost at the corner. I was really worried about what this was going to do at the corners. And I still am. I still am. Because you want your flanges to match up. So what I am trying to do is to get them. Whew. So far, so good on that corner. We're going to turn just a little bit. I'm not turning the whole quilt. I'm just turning this corner. I'm going to raise that foot up so I can turn it and get that flange put over. This may be turning out better than my normal binding. How about that? If that's the case, I may have to do. No, I'm not going to do this a lot. It's beautiful and all, but this is a lot of work for a binding. But being that it was going to be on my bed, I wanted to have something that I wouldn't do on just every quilt. Because how I'm doing this, I'm just pulling it and making sure it is straight. I am not stretching it. I'm trying to stay right on that stitch line, which is very hard to do. Now, when I go to look for pillowcase fabric, I am going to be looking for the green. And then maybe a flowered. See, like this green, I really like that green. I think that would be pretty as the main fabric. And if not that for the main fabric, then this blue and then maybe something with green in it for the cuff. I think that would be beautiful. I don't want yellow. I mean, yellow is, I think it's beautiful in how it's used in this quilt. And I've got it as a border and part of the binding. But I think I would really like to stay with the blues and greens for the pillowcases. And I may even do like navy blue, because I do love this, the blue, shades of blue that's in this quilt I really love. And hey, I'm an 80s child, so these colors are right down my alley. Well, actually, I'm a 70s child, but I grew up in the 80s. And yes, I guess, what is it called? I'm a Gen Xer. We the ones that really don't care about anything. I care. I care about a lot of things. Things that matter, I care about. I don't care about people being whiny and not getting their way. That's called life. Life of hard knocks. I didn't raise any participation trophy kids either, so. Because I was one of these, if you said you were going to do something, you were going to do it and you were going to see it out to the end. Because I know when I was in school, I started a lot of things and extenuating circumstances happened and I couldn't follow through with a lot of things, and that I always had those regrets. So I told my kids, if you start something, you are going to finish it. You're going to see it through. We're not even halfway down one side, guys. So the first side, I only did like 4 inches of it, just so I could hit that curve to see how to do that. And it seemed to have worked out pretty good. I think what's taken so long is the binding is really tight on the back, even at that 3/8. And I'm trying to sew the front at least at 1/4, because I am sewing in that seam line between the 2 pieces of fabric. And I don't care what the back looks like. I don't know, I may want to enter this into a quilt show. I'm not. And friends, I can already tell that my binding is not even all the way around. And that's going to be okay, because it's going to be my quilt. It's going to go on one of my beds. I actually made it to fit on my guest bed. But being that it's the first bed size quilt that I've got done, it really doesn't matter if it fits my bed. I can put it on my bed, because right now I don't even have a full or double size quilt on my bed. I just have it laid on the top of it, because in the summertime I don't need a heavy quilt or bedspread or anything. So I just I have it's called Grandma's Scrappy Quilt. We did it as a sew along as well. And that is the one I have laid on my bed right now. And the main reason that's the one I have laid on my bed is because when my grandson came and stayed the night, that's the one he wanted to sleep with. So that was the big quilt on the bed. And when I washed my other bedspread, which is a store-bought bedspread, I didn't put it on there. I just left Grandma's Scrappy Quilt on there. And currently, it is in my dryer. And I put my other bedspread back on, because my grandson hasn't stayed with me since then. He's only stayed one time with me. My grandbaby girl, she stayed with me a couple times, but I told her parents that we're not doing that anymore until she gets older, because that baby's traumatized being left with somebody she doesn't know real well. It takes her a little while to get used to you, and I don't want to traumatize her. But now she's getting to where when she sees me on FaceTime, she'll talk to me, and, you know, she's getting to know me a little better, but I'm not going to push that on her. That's going to be in her time, and we're not going to rush her. I would love for her to come and stay with me, but I'm not traumatizing that baby like that. She has lived hours away from me her whole life, so I have not got to see her a lot. Kind of like, you know, I see my grandson at least once a week. And that's because he's only 5 minutes away. And my daughter, she was telling me something like she had told her little brother, that I had never kept her son. And he was like, what? She's like, yeah, she's never kept, you know, I had never kept her baby. But I had kept my son's little girl. But that's because they lived so far away. And when they moved closer was when she actually got to stay the night with me. And that was still an hour and a half away, you know. But that was a lot easier for us to meet up and exchange baby, you know. That was a lot easier to do that. But now they're 4 hours away, and that's not easy. The only way she'll get to stay with me now is if I get an Airbnb and they all stay with me. Which I think we're going to probably make that a habit of going and staying at the Airbnb, or get an Airbnb. And my daughter and her baby come, and my son and his wife and their baby come, and we all stay together. My grandson, he'll sleep with me. In a heartbeat, he will sleep with me. He don't have any qualms about telling his mama he wants Gigi. And that's okay. This morning she was on her way to work, and she said he is in a bad mood. And so I started talking to him over the phone, because she has, you know, that speaker on. You know how cars and phones are nowadays. They connect to each other. So I started talking to him, and I was like, do you want Gigi to come get you? Uh-huh. And my daughter was like, Mama, he's nodding. He wants you to come get him. I'm like, honey, all you got to do is say the word. I will leave work. And she's like, no, you got to work. You got to work. She's like, he'll be okay. And he just kind of whined. I said, baby, are you still tired? You need your blanket. And he was like, and she told me, she's like, he was going, uh-huh. He's so funny. I hate that I missed this with my granddaughter. She has her shugs, though, and I know her shugs. That's her mama's mama. I know her shugs loves her to pieces, and she has her poppy. I guess it's what they call him. I don't know what they call my stepdaughter, stepdaughter. My daughter-in-law, I don't know what they call her stepdad. Now, my husband, they call Pappy. Y'all hear that one? I don't know if you can hear that. That's my old man cat. That's my little one. He is telling me he wants outside for some reason. He has decided he wants to stay outside at night. Now, he is fixed. So, we're not going to have any kittens around here. Not from him. But I hear you, baby. He will get louder and louder. He did not come in until I got in from work. And he only wanted to eat, and now he wants to go back outside. Now, I have found a way that works better for me to trim my quilts down. Because, let's face it, mine are not always, I'm not going to say not real square. They're probably not real square. But that's why I like to put a border on it. Because I can use the edge of the border and trim the whole thing based off the edge of the border. I put a border bigger than I want. And then I trim it down to where it's like the same size all the way around. And there's no funky, crazy stuff going on with it. Now, I know they say not to trim that corner, that peak. I'm trimming it because I can't even roll my fabric over because of it. There's plenty of it still there. Okay, guys, so what it's looking like I needed to do, on the back, I did sew it at 3/8, and on the front, I'm sewing it at 1/4 now. And that does seem to be working, but I'm telling you, this folding it over is really difficult. I think I'm only on the second side and been doing this for 40 minutes already. So, yes, it's a little bit difficult. And I am trimming as I go through because I have my little dog ears still on there. I'm trimming those off because we don't need those. And can y'all believe the month of September, we are already past the middle of the month. It is going by so fast. Now, I'm not going to complain about fall getting here, guys. I'm really not. I'm so happy. I will take the rain in the chilly mornings. I'm not real crazy about the 100-degree afternoons because we've still been having really, really hot weather here. My garden, there's no garden. I mean, it's just done. It's awful. The only thing I still have going, my little fig tree, my blackberry bush, my shampoo ginger didn't even grow this year. But I have a raspberry bush. I think I said fig tree, blackberry. My asparagus is still doing well. But, you know, it's kind of done for the year. So what I'm doing is I'm just letting it grow, and come January, I'll cut that back. I have a cat letting me know he wants out again. He'll get loud here in a second. It's like he's going, Mom, let me out. But I know if I let him out, it's not real late. I mean, well, it is. I didn't realize it was as late as it is. It's 9 o'clock. But I keep forgetting I did go out and eat dinner with my dad and stepmom, so I wasn't here immediately. I do have that Mississippi cracked chicken that I need to get out of the crock pot and put in individual dishes so I can freeze some of it so it doesn't go to waste. And my daughter said she'd be over tomorrow to get a bowl of it, so I told her I would put her some in a bowl for her and the baby to come get. Because her fiance, he's going to be at work for 3 weeks. And just for her to not have to cook, you know, I'll throw some things in the crock pot. Now, I am going to cook some gumbo this weekend, and I'll send her a bowl of that with some potato salad, too. I may make some garlic bread to go with that as well. Sorry, this is in y'all's way. Sorry, guys, that's kind of covering up everything I'm doing, and you can't see a single thing that I'm doing. I'm still just using the back, this hand here, just to kind of hold the fabric from pulling. I'm keeping it pulled this direction. The quilt is pulling it the other direction. I was kind of half expecting my daughter to ask me to keep my grandbaby to the day y'all are seeing this today. But there is absolutely no way that is possible. Because as soon as I get up, I'm going to be hitting the road running. That's why when I get done here, I still cannot go to bed. Because I have got to pick out the fabrics for my jelly roll quilt. And it's really going... I have one here that... This is Gingham Foundry. I love this. It's got the navy blues, the bluish gray, the yellows, and then some cream color whites. So it's between that one. And if I use that one, it's probably going to be one pattern. And I'll probably have to get fabric to do that one. But if I want to smash my stash, guys. I don't want to be buying a lot of yardage to do this, because the patterns that I have chosen also use yardage, because I don't want just a strip quilt. I mean, there's only so many things you can do with just a jelly roll. And I've seen about all of those quilts. So, I don't want to do one of those. I want to do one that is different. You know, like stars. But I have one that if I use, I know I do. I know I have fabric that I can make the other one. I just don't know how much I have. Now, I know I have a lot of yardage, but I don't know if I have the amount of colors it calls for, because it does call for so many strips. Well, it actually calls for fat quarters, but I wouldn't use fat quarters. And that's one of the things that scares me, is if it calls for fat quarters. I did look up jelly roll friendly quilts, and almost all the cuttings are 2.5 inches in some form or fashion. So, I mean, they're all 2.5 inch somewhere, and so they could be cut out of a strip, and none of the cuts are bigger than 21 inches, so it could definitely be done out of a jelly roll. But I don't know. I don't know if it would really mess it up if I didn't do it by as many, because it's telling you to do it from fat quarters. Well, I don't have fat quarters. That would be the blue one. That would be the pattern that I would use if I used the blue one. So, I don't know yet. I mean, I'm probably going to do the one for my son. And that is a type of log cabin. But I don't know. I've got to look at these patterns before I choose and decide. Because the log cabin does use a good bit of yardage. I know I've got the yardage, and I probably even have the colors I would need. But I do know the yardage that I would have to use on the other pattern if I did the Gingham Foundry roll. I have a dark gray. Let me see if it's over there. Oh, it's over here. It's the one I'm using with the sew-along, the Yuletide sampler. So I don't know if I would use that one. I have some light gray over here too. So I could probably use that. But I'm kind of thinking I'm probably going to do the one that is the log cabin, because it does call for using jelly roll strips, and the other one does not. It calls for fat quarters, even though most of them are at 2.5 inches somewhere. Like, they're either that long or that wide. They're 2.5 inches some way. But I really need to sit down, and like I said, it's almost 9:30 now, guys. I will have to sit down and look at these patterns and make decisions. I have a lot of decisions to be making tonight before tomorrow, because I have got to get pillowcase fabric for this. So that means I'm going to have to see if I have scraps of this somewhere. I know I have a pillow. I have a square of this somewhere where I did a tester block, or one too many blocks, something like that. I know I have a block somewhere. I just don't know where it is. I have so much stuff, I just don't know where it's all at. And that's why I'm trying to not bring extra stuff in. I'm still trying to get things out. I am going to be doing another de-stash. Probably, I don't know when I'm going to do it. But probably pretty soon. And guys, I've got to let y'all know, with postage being the way it is, I may just do $5 postage. But that will be included in the price of the item. Now, of course, if you buy multiple items, I'm only going to charge the $5. But a lot of the things that I ship cost anywhere from $8 to $14 to ship. And I've been doing that free shipping. So technically on a lot of stuff, I'm not even making my money back that I paid for it. So if you ever want to give me a super chat, feel free. That will go towards some shipping costs, possibly. Because up to this point, I've always done everything free shipping, just because it's easier to not have to calculate all of that ahead of time, you know, because it's a different shipping for everywhere. And I know I could do calculated shipping and send invoices with it. That is too much trouble. I don't know about y'all, but I don't have that kind of time. Because I'm going to put my head down to this and get this done, because I am coming up on an hour already in this session, and I still have a whole nother side to do. And I can't let it hit that hour and 20 minutes, and I don't want to stop and do a third segment that I'll have to edit down. So, y'all stay tuned. When I come back in just a few seconds, I'm going to probably be pulling it off the machine, and we'll be finished binding it. Well, friends, I was closer to the end than I thought. How about that? My goodness. I thought I still had a whole nother side, and the whole time I was on the last side. How about that? So I am finishing up this binding. It is almost done. Yeah, I'm crossing over it a pretty good bit there. Guys, I am done. This is so exciting. I need to throw a party. I'm going to be throwing a party in just a little bit. I'm going to be going to bed after I pick out my jelly roll stuff that I'm going to do and pick out all my fabrics. So, friends, here we are. We have got a flange binding. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. That's a little bigger than I'd really like to have. But to make the blue thicker, what I could do or could have done was a 1/4 of an inch on the back, and then 3/8 on the front would have been on this side. But the back looks really good as well. At what I did. Now, I can see some places where I ran off of the binding, and hey, you know, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter, guys. So thank you guys for joining me. We have a finish this week. I'm 100% complete on my Craftsman. It took 1 year and 8 months for it to happen. 9 months. We're going to say 8 because I think I was still working on this in January. But 1 year and 8 months to happen. But it's done. Look at this. I'm so excited. So excited. Now, this does not look like what I expected the flange to look like. Next time, I will probably do a 3-inch bind with still only like a 1/4 inch flange. I don't want a really big flange. I want the main fabric to be bigger. And right there, my flange is bigger than my main one, my binding. So, friends, thank you for joining me. Give me a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, please do. Feel free to leave a comment and tell me what you think. I do try to respond to each and every comment personally. And as always, until I see you again, I hope you have a very blessed day. Bye, guys.